We love featuring artists you should know about. Today, we're heading to Nashville to chat with award-winning singer-songwriter Dawn Ricks. Dawn grew up in West Virginia. She's been singing before she could talk. She's won numerous awards. She's the state rep for Autism Speaks. She's an author. She just released her latest single called Painkiller. We're excited to have Dawn Ricks on the show. First, Dawn, thanks so much for coming on.
Well, you are certainly welcome. Hello, everyone. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, well, first, congratulations. What's this autism awareness concert you're doing? 18 artists in 8 states?
Yeah, how about that? It was one of the gentlemen that helps me promote my music, Caden Gordon. He is actually one of the hosts on it, and reached out and said, "Hey, we're doing this event." And of course, anything autism related, I like to jump right in on. My son himself is autistic, so like I said, it's near and dear to my heart. So it's super exciting. It's going to be in Hendersonville, in Tennessee, and it is March 16th. And looking forward to doing it. And it's nice to see other artists dive in as well to help for a good cause.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you mentioned your son. He's autistic. What's he, 25, 26?
He's 26 years old. Yes, sir. 26
years old. So you've dealt with this a long time. What's the biggest misperception, Dawn? Because I saw you said, it's not always, smiles. I mean, it's not easy.
Well, here's the thing. 90% of the time it may be one way, and 10% of the time it may be the other. There are the ups and downs, and there are incredible moments. And in many ways, his abilities and his intelligence and just everything blows me away. But then on the other end of it, you do have some things that come along with it, and sometimes it could be either a seizure or it could be some behavioral issues. And, when he was younger and, 3 foot tall, it was easy to handle those behavioral issues. Yeah. But at 6'2" and 300 pounds, it's a little different, especially when I'm only 5'3". So sometimes, the reality is sometimes a window gets kicked out. Sometimes a hole goes in the wall. Sometimes the TV goes through the wall as well. Or sometimes I may be pulling Pepsi Cola out of my hair 5 minutes before I step on stage and take on to do a 3-hour show for the night. So that's the reality. Yeah. The fluff and butterflies is that everything is, beautiful in the world, and we just go along and we just handle it like a champ. And when I was younger and earlier on, I felt like I was Superwoman. And now that I'm up there, I realize I'm not. Yeah. I'm really not. And I have a daughter and I have 3 grandbabies too. And it's hard to balance. It's very hard to balance. But, hats off to parents in general, and then much less if you have one that requires a little extra, here and there. And that's why I'm so passionate about helping. If there's one thing or one bit of advice I could give, or just, I'm an open book. And if another parent, if anything I say connects or can help another parent, living this life, then I feel like I've served my purpose.
Yeah, you have a song. You released it a few years back, One Love Fits All. You didn't write this song, but when you heard, what did you feel when you heard this song?
Oh, dear Lord. I did not write this, but it was as if I were in the room when they did write it.
Yeah, it was like it was written for you.
Yeah, it was great. And, I did record it, and I invited friends with autism, people who work with autistic children, parents, the community. I asked them all to be involved. We were able to make a collage out of their photos and puzzle pieces for the cover. We were able to do a beautiful video, a lyric video that's actually on YouTube, and we were able to donate proceeds to Autism Speaks. What was really nice is just a few days ago, I went and read to one of the elementary school classes, and they were tickled to death. We pulled up the video, and they actually sang along, and we surprised them and their teacher because she actually was one person in the video. So that song, what a great message, not just for, it's a universal message for anyone. We actually even used it as a theme song for a book that I participated in an anthology, Boots on the Ground, against racism kind of thing. So
Yeah.
the message in the song is beautiful, and like I said, it's timeless, it's universal. I did not write it, but sure wish I did.
Yeah, it's great. Go and you can watch it, like Dawn said, on YouTube. One Love Fits All. Just search for One Love Fits All, Dawn Ricks. It's Rix. You can also go check out dawnricks.com. She's on Facebook, Instagram. Go to YouTube. Check out all of her stuff. Her latest single, Painkiller, is out now. Well, I mean, you've been singing forever, but you just started writing music. What was the change? I mean, why? I mean, why now?
Well, the truth of the matter is I've always been a writer, but I never considered myself a songwriter. I used to write poems. I even wrote the senior class poem in 1989. I've always written things, and
Yeah.
I've always come up with ideas and concepts and stories, and I love being a storyteller. It wasn't until a few years ago that I met another songwriter who, I passed around some ideas with and shared, and they were like, "Hey, you know what? You're a better songwriter than I am." And I'm like, well, no, maybe word-wise and idea-wise, but it's learning the structure, and it's learning to not put a whole, novel down on paper and expect it to be, delivered in 3 minutes and 20 seconds. So I've had to learn. It's been a learning process, but one of my goals, every year I set goals for myself, and one of my goals was one day I am going to record something that I wrote. And I was fortunate enough to do that with my song Tennessee Miles. And that is kind of my baby, I guess you could call it, but it's also my life anthem. It's about never giving up. And it's about, this old gal ain't done yet, basically. And looking in the rearview mirror and seeing that little girl, and the little girl with the big dreams, and just going after them and not letting her down. And so, at my age, sometimes, obviously, the odds are against you.
Yeah.
And I just don't look at that. I look at every day as an opportunity, and it's something that I'm hoping inspires other people to never give up on their dreams. I mean, it must be in my blood, because my dad at like 60-some years old went back and got his GED. How wonderful is that, right?
Yeah.
And then I just this past year, graduated from college with my associates. And like I said, there's things on a bucket list, and there's, they may be goals, and life throws you curveballs in between, but you just got to knock that sucker out of the ballpark and go for it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, in Tennessee Miles, you just won the Lit Music Award winner for Tennessee Miles. So that's got to be kind of cool.
Yeah, Tennessee Miles was one that I didn't even know if the label would even put out. They were a little hesitant, but I was like, listen, if you don't believe in it, then don't fool with it. I'll put it out myself. But they did. They believed in it. And it's typically a song will only last a few months, basically. But this one we won all kinds of awards with it. I've been very, very blessed. And any recognition, whether it's a nomination, just, someone clapping in your corner, a DJ like yourself, just giving me an opportunity to talk or to interview, or just even for people to learn about me or hear my stuff, those are all wins for me. And that's what it's about. And I mean, don't get me wrong, the glass, the glass accessories we get to hang up on a shelf are very nice too.
Yeah.
But again, it's really not about that. It's just knowing that, as artists, we put in hours and hours, and we pour our hearts and our souls out, and sometimes with not a lot of support behind us. It takes a strong person to be with us to understand our passion, and sometimes it can get lonely,
Yeah.
but it's something we believe in, and we all have a story to tell. And I believe that whether it's through dance or music or however you want to deliver that, your story is important, and someone out there needs to hear it. And whoever's ears it's meant for will be the ones who receive it.
Yeah, for sure. Go and check her out. Dawn Ricks. It's dawnrix.com. She's on Facebook, Instagram. Her latest single, Painkiller, is out now. And yeah, I mean, you've been through everything, Dawn. You were at the Josie Awards. You've been at ISA. I mean, you've won a million awards. Has it been getting easier being an indie artist? Or, I mean, like you said, it is lonely, and it's peaks and valleys. You put out a song. You're like, is anyone going to hear this? How has it been? Is it getting better?
Well, I just think it stays so exciting, and you just never stop. I mean, 2 in the morning, you're returning emails. You're
Yeah.
constantly trying to write and trying to better your craft, and trying to learn and trying to expand your ideas and trying to be heard, across the world, basically. So just a lot of work goes into it, and they say if you find a job that you would do for free, that's the one for you, and apparently this is the one for me.
Yeah, because we're not making millions off of this, that's for sure.
Well, maybe it was funny. I had a personalized license plate, and I said right there, Tennessee Miles paid for that.
Yeah, that was it. That's what I got.
Yeah, that was it. One slice of pizza, not two, just one. So with Painkiller being out now, I'm hoping. It's never. I don't really pay attention to the streams or to the downloads and to the money aspect of it, and I guess I probably should. But if I did it for that, I would have stopped a long time ago. Again, mine is just with every song there's a message, and whether it cheers someone up, inspires them, or heals their heart, or just kind of touches on something they may be going through in life, because again, real life is real tough. Yeah. And so Painkiller is one of those ones about heartbreak, and boy, oh boy, I have felt it. I have felt it, and I've been living it strongly. So the timing of this song has been pretty good.
Yeah, perfect. We're going to talk about Painkiller some more here in a minute, but I Want to Be Holding You. You and Billy Gaines did this song, and I looked up Billy, and he's got an interesting background, but how did you meet him? Because what was he, singing in an airport? Or tell us this story, Dawn.
Oh, my gosh. Yes, you have done your homework. My goodness. So the coolest thing was I was traveling home from I was traveling back to West Virginia from Nashville, and I was going through the concourse, and I heard this angelic voice singing, "This Christmas," and I'm like, oh my gosh, it sounds just like the guy who sings that song. And so I followed my ears through the airport. I needed to find this person who was singing. I couldn't believe that it was live. And I got around the corner, and there stood Billy Gaines with his accompanist, and it was his last song. And I just stood there in awe, thinking, "Oh dear Lord Jesus, this man's voice is amazing." And so I ended up getting a card from him, and just said, "Hey, great job." So of course, you're sitting there waiting for a plane, and what do? We look people up, right? We Google, stalk them on Facebook or whatever. And I looked him up, and I sent him a message, and I said, "Hey there, I just heard you sing in the airport. Amazing, just absolutely amazing voice. My name's Dawn, whatever." It was just about a week later. The song was pitched to me by Corey Lee Barker, and I was like, "Oh my God, the person on this voice on this demo sounds just like the guy, Billy." So I sent it over to Billy, and I said, "Oh my, this voice sounds just like yours." I said, would you consider singing a duet with me?" And he said, "Absolutely." And I was like, oh my gosh. So after looking him up, I realized, oh my gosh, this is Billy Gaines, for crying out loud. This is like the amazing gospel singer, Billy Gaines. And we went from there. We recorded it. We did a video. At that particular time, we ended up realizing he lived in one apartment building, and I lived in the same apartment complex. We had no idea. At that time. But what a wonderful person, what a wonderful sound, and it's one of my favorite songs. And again, we put together a nice little lyric video, plus an official music video as well. And it's out there, and I'm telling you, if you love someone and you want to earn some bonus points for the day, send them that song.
Yeah, I Want to Be Holding You. It's Dawn Ricks featuring Billy Gaines. Well, and Billy, he sang with his wife for years as a duo. She passes away. So, I mean, what was his feelings like doing another duet with another female? I mean, it had to be, amazing, weird. I mean, what was he thinking?
Well, honestly, Billy, he has such a strong faith, and I hate to speak for him, but he does have a very, very strong faith, and he has sang duets with people. I think he had a few Christmas songs that were out that he has sung duets before, and he was all for it, and I think he's more about keeping the music alive, and I think actually hearing this song he felt that connection and that love with his wife. And for him to sing this song, it was almost as it would be in her honor, as opposed to, being a duet with some blonde chick. It wasn't like that at all.
No.
But just the power of the music. And again, he said that when he heard that first line, and even the one about, what I said, I'd say all over again, he would. If she were here, he would have remarried her 20 million times. And I think that's a very special kind of love. And you can hear it in his voice. You can hear it in my voice. And together, our harmonies were just incredible, how it just clicked like that. And I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't hear a future duet again in the future with Billy and I.
Yeah, it's a great song. I Want to Be Holding You, featuring Billy Gaines and Don Ricks. Go and check it out. Go watch the video as well. You mentioned you read at T.A. Lowry Elementary in West Virginia. Your book, Yes, Yes, You Can. Give us a quick rundown of the book, Dawn.
Well, I always wanted to write a book, okay? So, and it's real life. So years ago, in high school, I had a friend named James Jett, and we were buds. And we made a pinky promise to one another that he was going to go off and be some big NFL star, and I was going to be some country superstar. Okay, so as kids, you laugh at that, right? But as you get older, you need to make things happen, right? So anyway, sorry, I was interrupted. Long story short, going through life when you have big goals, right? Words matter, and we kept hearing the message, "Yes, yes, you can." Every time we would doubt that he would go play football or I would go do singing, we always kept the message, "Yes, yes, you can." So I wanted to write a children's book, and I thought, how can I deliver this message? And so I actually took the real life story of James Jett and turned him into Little Jimmy. And I talked about how his cousin teased him he was too small, and the other one teased him because he couldn't run very fast, and how he listened to his coach and he believed, yes, yes, you can, and he ate his spinach and he ran and ran and he practiced, and he went and eventually got a gold medal, and then went on and he ended up playing in the NFL for the Los Angeles Raiders. And it's a real true story. And then also in the book, I participate a lot with the Miss America program. I'm one of the executive directors in West Virginia, and the last 3 Miss West Virginias have been my girls, and actually this year, Miss West Virginia and Miss West Virginia's team has been under my directorship. So I've been involved in that since I was a has-been back in the 90s, competing myself. And so I took the reigning Miss West Virginia. Her name is Carrington Childress, beautiful, beautiful girl, and I took her story of believing that she wanted to be Miss America one day. And, she wasn't going to sing like the rest or play piano or dance or twirl baton or those typical talents, but she loved to read. And so she took her talent to Miss America this year and told a story. And so by putting that in the book, it came from 2 aspects. It came from little Jimmy watching TV with his family, wanting to become a football player, and little Carrington across town watching TV, watching the ladies go across the TV screen at Miss America, how she wanted to be Miss America. And both things, for James it did come true, and for Carrington she did get to compete in Miss America just recently. So hopefully the message behind it is just, yes, yes, you can. But you just have to believe. And I'm a firm believer, and I tell people this all the time, doubt your doubts, but never doubt your faith. And then I also say, believe in yourself. And if you don't, then borrow my belief in you, and it's just as powerful.
Yeah, it's amazing. The new single, Painkiller, it's out now. Where do we get this song? Because 3 people wrote this song?
Yeah, 3 people, and I'm trying to think of their names. Hold on one second.
Jamie, John, and Rachel.
Yes. So here's a little a fun fact. Rachel is actually Terry Bradshaw's daughter.
Oh, okay, yeah, it is Rachel
How
Bradshaw.
about that?
Wow.
How about that? Yes. So so Painkiller was pitched to me through Eminent Music, and I fell in love with it, and we were going to put it out last year, but Worlds Collide came out instead, and then we kind of worked on it some more, and then it was just released February 26th. You can get it on all digital platforms, everything out there, iTunes, Alexa will play it for you. You can download it from Spotify or iHeartRadio and listen to your station. Hopefully they'll want to hear it and they'll want to request it a lot. That would be great. And, if you had a chance, you might have seen on Facebook that we had it up on the billboard downtown Nashville.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's pretty impressive.
On 16th on Broadway. Yeah, it was there all week during CRS week, which was pretty cool. So I hope people are loving it. And again, it's fresh and it's new. And, I'll always keep pushing out new music. But right now my focus is on this one. I think it's pulling at the heartstrings of the women and the men. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a great song. You're going to hear it right now. Go and check her out. Dawn Ricks. That's RIX. DawnRicks.com. She's on Facebook, Instagram. Go to YouTube. Check out all of her awesome videos. And here is Painkiller. She's actually going to be at the VFW in West Virginia on Saturday night. So go and see her live. Dawn, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. And thank you, listeners, for tuning in. God love you. And reach out to me on social media. I love to connect with the fans.
Yeah. Go and check her out. Dawn Ricks. Here it is. It's Painkiller. It's KIX 96.5.